welcome to Saber Sunday. Mundo in the house. So it's Charlie and Titan. Welcome, guys. How y'all doing tonight? I hope we're gonna have a good show. And first and foremost, guys, I really do want to apologize for last week's show that it got cut off all of a sudden. I still don't even know what happened really, but that's why I do the Mundo piggyback so that whoever misses this show here, you can always go check it out on the Mundo channel, right? Uh, it's always good to have you here, buddy. You and Charlie, man. Love you guys. I mean, I love everybody who comes on and hangs out with me, man. It's so much fun to do this. Jim, welcome, Jim. It's so much fun, to have you guys here and to interact and talk about stuff. And I think tonight's going to be like a really cool conversation, man, because how many people actually do research stuff for their sabers, their saber hilts, and especially the parts or maybe the color schemes. If you want to be accurate, not accurate, screen accurate is what I'm talking about, right? Whether you want to be off screen accurate or screen accurate, I mean, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I mean, to me, a saber is a saber. I mean, it's so much fun to have something, regardless if it's screen accurate or not. Now, I get it. If you are a true collector and you really want to have that screen accuracy, for that simple fact, I get it. And more power to anybody who decides, hey, Anan, how you doing, my friend? Glad to see you here, buddy. You know, and I really do appreciate anybody who takes the time, and they should appreciate themselves as well, because if you want to do a job well done on your saber, you want to do everything that you can in order to make that saber as great looking as you can, but more importantly, more personalized towards yourself. Unless you're making a saber which you plan on selling and you're not going to keep it, right? You're gonna put it together, you're gonna dish it out, you're gonna sell it, you're gonna make some more money, you're gonna make some money off it so you can buy another hilt that you actually want to work on or that you want to basically keep for yourself, right? So in doing so, when you go and you research, maybe color schemes, let's say for your chassis, right? Again, oh shit. Again, for chassis, like the one I have here in Roy Boy, I thought basically, a silver metal kind of dirty copper look to it, right? All dirty metal look to it. And that's what most people are looking for these days, with the weathering and so forth. But, when you get into weathering, you get into making your custom sabers like that, where do you begin? Where do you start, right? And this is more or less for the newbies that coming around and and they want to hear something, maybe they haven't heard before, maybe they've heard it all along. I mean, so this is not necessarily geared towards, the seasoned guys, but more or less for the newbies. But if there's anything in here that you can relate to and everything else in between, by all means, jump in and speak your mind because yeah, I think it's a good important uh, talk and conversation that we can have so that anybody who has questions and sees this, they'll kind of go like, oh, okay, maybe I should try that, right? And every saber, of course, also is a personal preference, right? On what you want to do with it, whether you want to paint it, whether you want to make like like a Franken saber, maybe you different things. And I tell you what's really weird, okay? Sometimes there's some happy accidents, right? I'm really loving Weathered Hills. Also want to support individual hilt maker like Tim and Jeremy. Of course, Titan. Of course, you know that you want to support them. I really wish I could support them by getting some hilts from them. I would love hilts from them. Unfortunately, right now I'm not in the position financially to do that, but I will. And when I do, I will be getting some hilts from them. So, it's just a matter of time. And like I said, if you're like me, who doesn't have much money, but you save up your money so that you can get those hills. Yeah, sometimes you might run out of time to get them or something, but something always comes up, right? Something always comes up. And whether you may not get that one at that point in time, maybe you can get it secondhand, maybe you can get it, at another date if they're still offering it. So just keep eye out on things like that, right? And as I was saying, when you do your research, and your research doesn't just for parts either. I mean, your research can go for um, great sound fonts. Like today, I spent most of my morning looking at sound fonts, from Wanset to Kyberphonic to Grayscale, BK. I mean, I looked at all of these font makers and I was looking at some fonts that maybe I hadn't seen before or even heard before, right? Need more cha-ching, of course, Titan. I mean, but if you're like me, you save your dimes, pennies, and nickels, and you like I have an envelope right now that I put specifically for saver money. I mean, it may be like $5 here and there, but it'll grow. It all adds up later on. It all adds up later on, man. If that's the way you got to do it, that's the way you got to do it, dude. Always make sure you got your bills paid first, and anything else more, importantly. That way, when you do spend the money for your savers, you won't feel like you just wasted something. Instead of paying for this bill that's coming up, you're like, oh shit, I should have just, man, now I got to sell this. Now I got to sell this hill so that I could pay this bill. Yeah, you know, I'm in Newbie, but my preference is more on the pristine look, and any knocks on details I get adds character. Of course, of course, and that's the thing is if you go and you look like some of my research that I do also, right? You look at Etsy, you look at maybe Pinterest, and now I think AI is coming out with some hilt design stuff that's kind of wicked looking, but at the same time, it's wicked looking, but is it actually practical to make those sabers, right? That's another thing. When you do your research, you want to make sure that you have viable, you know, how should I put it, man? I mean, you want to make sure that the content and the stuff that you're looking at, you want to make sure that it's actually viable to recreate or create within itself. You really don't want to have that, something that could possibly take away from your creativity, could take away from the greatness of your hilt in terms of maybe a paint scheme. You might think that in your paint schemes it's going to look great this way, it's going to look great that way, but then when you actually do it, you're like, oh shit, it didn't turn out the way I wanted. But that's the beauty of certain things, because with the Star Wars lore being, dirty and grimy, you could have a happy accident as well. And I'm going to tell you, if you're researching parts that fit together and stuff like that, you do the what is it? TCSS has the program where you can fit the parts together to make your saber, right? To you can interchange parts and look and see what fits, and you can come out with an awesome looking saber from the parts of the custom saber shop. Um, I tell you, I had a happy accident, but there would be no buttons put on it because I was really tripping out, and it was kind of funny. Um, I was thinking about what I could do with this chassis from Wicked Sin Sabers, right? And I was thinking to myself, well, what can I come up that could fit this, and as well as maybe some TSS parts or something like that, right? Maybe I'm gonna come up with a different type of saber design, and then in you know it's kind of funny because I had a little bit of a happy accident in terms of fitting certain things, right? So you see how that kind of fits in there a little bit, and I'm going to show you something because it's kind of cool. I mean, like I said, I've got this piece from Roy Boy, right? And I'm going to use parts from Roy Boy, and you're going to see what I'm kind of talking about, and it's kind of weird and cool at the same time, man, because I was, like I said, I was researching parts, but it got me thinking, what can I do with certain parts and do certain things, right? Like, there's got to be a way of doing certain things. And here I'm like, okay, so I've got this piece, right? I took out the core, and of course, this is the pins section, and of course, this is part of Roy Boy, right? That Rich Sanchilla printed out for me in the chassis stuff. So I took it out. It's real simple to take out, and that was a great piece, man. This color scheme, I figured, was I think it was uh aged gold or something like that, or aged brass, something like that. I think it's actually one of those bottles that I had showed you last week, right? On the painting stuff and all that. But yeah, I mean the paint came out pretty damn cool, man. I mean you don't see it because it's inside the saber, but so I was figuring out, okay, what can I do, right? So it's just kind of playing around with things, whether how it would kind of turn out and stuff. And then of course I've got this part from, the back of Roy Boy. Like I said, I was playing around with the parts of Roy Boy. I wasn't sure exactly how things were gonna turn out. And keep in mind that this doesn't have any buttons, and I hadn't even done anything to kind of consider what kind of buttons or anything like that would go in there. Just the chassis itself, right? So I'm playing around, and I'm going to take, and you're gonna I down on myself because it looked kind of cool, man, the way I had it, right? So again, pretty empty. I'm thinking, okay, what can this is gonna go? All right. So we got the chassis going in this far, correct? Now I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, let's see, let's take a look at something. So we're gonna kind of put it together and see how this is gonna come out. And again, research parts. I mean, if you got a couple of different sabers laying around, I mean, look at that. That don't look too bad right there, just in itself, right there, right? I think with a couple of buttons on here and stuff like that. But check this out. Again, here's the thing. How did I have it? Oh, did I have it this? I may have had it this other way. Hold on here. Uh, Let me see. Back, back, and back. See, don't be afraid to play around with things too, man. If you got a couple of sabers laying around that have the same, um, that actually have the same kind of threading, you can do something pretty magical with that stuff. Let me see. Damn it. How did I have it? Oh my God. Now my brain is shifted to like it was cool as crap, and I can't. Am I gonna be able to recreate it? Am I be able to recreate it? Let's see here. Oh, okay, okay. I think. Let's see. Uh, my goodness. How did I have it? I know I didn't have it. I had it this way and that way, but it's going to be. Or did I miss? Am I missing a piece? Man, I tell you, your transmission is weak. Maybe check your deflector dish. Oh my gosh, really? This has been weird, man. Well, there's a lot of wind out right now, so that could be interfering with things. I mean, I didn't put this on my Wi-Fi, and I'm afraid if I put it on my Wi-Fi, then it might take out my thing. Is it still going pretty bad, Titan? Or is it back? Is it back? I don't have Dish, man. I have Spectrum, so it's kind of weird. Today's the tomorrow should be like it might be running a little bit slow and so forth, but man, let me see. How did I have this? To see now, this is really now this kind of irks me because the way I had it yesterday, and I was like, ooh, it looked cool. I was getting all excited about it. And I should have done it 2 or 3 times just to make sure that I had it correct on the way I had it. Oh, here we go. Okay, now here it is. I just had to turn it upside down. That's why. Now I've got the chassis in there and it's set. But look at that, man. I mean, it's a little long, right? It's a little long, but check that out, dude. Oh, okay. For now, yeah. Thanks, NN, for letting me know. Like I said, I think there's a lot of wind interference right now, so it could be interfering with the signal, or there could be some other things going on right now. Sometimes the cable company does update their right about this time, and I think that's probably what it is also. But check this out. Like I said, don't be afraid to just play around. If you got different sabers with the same threading around, I mean, it's kind of wicked, man. It's kind of wicked, right? Now I can't, of course, I can't put this on here because um, I would need to actually get the gender changer to put on here, and then I could thread this on there just like that. But you know, if you got several different maybe TCSS hilts and different styles of stuff, play around with them because look at that, man. I mean, that looks kind of wicked, right? Now, if I had a button here, maybe I don't know, let's say a short box one, maybe right there. Yeah, let's see. What do you guys think? Huh? Man, look at that. And then the buttons right there, dude. I think that look kind of cool, wouldn't you? I mean, maybe not be too viable, but I think it would look pretty damn cool. Yeah, look at that. Custom clamp card right there. Button. Well, I gotta move it down a little bit because that'd be interfering with the threads right there. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Not too shabby, huh? Not too shabby. And then of course, you can always grab. I still, man, I really like the way this feels though, with just all of this together. Too bad I can't wire it like this, right? Poor Roy boy, man. Roy boy's feeling a little naked right now. Um, the chassis and Roy Boy is a little loose, so I got to take it apart a little bit and tighten up those bolts. But I think I got one of those damn bolts stripped, and I got to take it out and get some new ones. Um, so yeah. Anyhow, So the back is, from the Warlock course, right? And like I said, I was just trying to find out what I could use this chassis for and how to use the chassis with what in terms of things playing around. And again, like I said, I was researching different sound fonts and different bodies and different styles of bodies. And I have not researched actually thread counts on hilts. I would love to learn the what kind of thread counts maybe TCSS has and do a different thread counting. Um, so that one of these days, if I make my own hilt, that I could use a different threading system, right? They may not be interchangeable with TCSS, and it might. Uh, s- I don't know because I would have to get permission from TCSS and stuff like that to have them help me on stuff like that, right? So that would be another way to go ahead and research things in terms of getting that kind of stuff together, right? So there's all kinds of things that you can do and all kinds of research data, research your parts, research your color schemes, research all kinds of things. And like I said, most of it's going to be a personal preference on what you want. Um, but don't limit yourself. Now, I want to thank Mountain Sabers also. He felt a little ill, so he's not on this week as well. He would have loved to have been on tonight's show, but he's not feeling well. So, let's give him some prayers and praise and thank yous for coming on. And I told him, hope he feels better. And James, so if you're listening to tonight's show, man, prayers for you to get better, dude. And you know, and he's always welcome to come on whenever he wants to. And that'll be a fun deal because when he comes on, we'll have a lot of fun together on as well. And Reese, I spoke to Reese, and Reese is a bit busy, and when he gets time, he will start coming on to the show here and there. And I hope that soon, we may get Killstar onto the show. And I tell you, um, I'm just honored to have everybody, come in and be guest on the show, and as well as watching the show. So much appreciation for everybody, and having a lot of fun too. Now, and Titan and you guys, um, with your hilts, since with your hilts, do you prefer powder coating, spray painting? Have you guys done any of those yourselves yet? Well, and then I mean, I know you haven't, since you're such a newbie, right? But would you prefer would you prefer a regular paint over powder coating? Would you prefer powder coating over the paints? What methodology would you use in order to color your sabers the colors that you would, prefer? I like powder coating, um, but I've never tried actual spray painting, and I've seen a few hills that have come out really well spray painted. But would it be viable for that paint to stick and stay, as long as the powder coating, right? And that's something that I need to research there. I haven't yet, and that's one of the things that I want to research, right? You've been experimenting with paint at work, and you prefer powder coating. Okay, okay. So is there a huge difference in a regular paint on a hilt rather than the paint powder coating. I think the powder coating is super thin and it sticks longer, possibly, whereas a regular paint might be a bit thicker and maybe doesn't last too long. Um, from what I've seen in just the little stuff that I've researched with painting hilts, and that's an interesting point right there because how many people would prefer powder coating over regular paint? Now, and a lot of things that I've been seeing come up lately too, especially with chassis, is the electroplating, right? That's begun to be very interesting in seeing electroplating of the 3D printed parts and especially chassis and stuff. Uh, Rather as opposed to getting the 3D printed brass parts, maybe gold parts, whatever have you will, the 3D printed metals, basically, right? Anything and everything but the right circumstance. Eh. Titan. You go, dude. Get it. Get it. With spray paint, I find I can get thin enough. It could be just my skill level. Well, see, I haven't even used the spray paint, so um, that's the thing. I would like to probably get some scratch and dent pieces and play around with that because again in researching this topic of painting or powder coating or color schemes for your saber, right? Could you actually get a thin enough and viable enough coat on there to last for a good while? And I think you probably would if you were successful, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are, if you're very successful in painting it, and then you would have to probably use a clear coat so that it wouldn't come off. How thin of a coat would you have to use of the clear coat so that things wouldn't get stuck or so forth. Especially with the threading and stuff. I mean, you have to tape the threading and make sure that you don't get any of that paint in there. So if the paint chips or whatever have you will, it might cause a problem within the threading and stuff. But again, if you're researching your stuff right, or you keep watching like YouTube videos like this and stuff like that, and you learn from those, or even in books of, let's say maybe a painter's class, you go to a painter's class, or if you're in a construction and you learn painting techniques from that type of job, right? So there's also all kinds of avenues that you can use as resources to improve or not only your skill for your building your sabers, but as well as more research because of things that you may not think of, they could not, they could add on to your um, add on to things that you maybe not think of, right? Now, again, I remember a long time ago I had showed you this, and this was the first chassis that I had gotten for Roy Boy when I started Roy Boy with, right? And this is from Albert from Smuggler's Outpost. And God, I love this guy because, he was the first dude to ever help me out when when I needed this part for a 3D printed chassis to have right inside here. And with this part, I mean, he came through, man. I mean, I gave him some measurements, and look at that. I mean, it just fits like a glove, man. I mean, he just basically did. Yeah, I mean, they're badass. I mean, you know. Um, However, I needed a better chassis system, when I text Rich because I was with the wire system that I had in there, most of the wiring that I did was in in here, right? Oh yeah, I've got Roy Boy taken apart a little bit. You see the this moves a little bit and then this part actually moves a little too much and I don't like the fact that it moves that much. So I need to get the bolt in here, maybe a little bit longer bolt and make sure that it stays tight and not move. So I mean I mean it's not bad if it moves, but to me I think if it moves that much it'll kind of mess something up and I really don't want to do that seeing as I spent so much time getting it the way I want it. The way it is, I don't need to, right? With spray paint, I find that I can't get in there, but it could be just okay. So again, when you're researching parts and even companies as well, right? Finding reputable people is a very big importance because if you find somebody that takes advantage of you, it's going to hinder you're not going to have a good experience. And most people should have a great experience with their sabers. And that's why, when we help somebody and you help somebody along the way to improve their skills and to really have a great saber, it makes everybody feel good too. But, there are a few that kind of, a few bad apples that take advantage of people. And that's why when we really try to help people out and to have a great experience with the sabers. And then such as yourself, man. You know, I I try to make sure that when I'm talking about certain things, um, it it's not only to inform you about certain things, but also, hey, maybe I haven't heard that before. Nonetheless, you've come around and you've pretty much heard everything I've said over and over again too. A lot of times when you people hear me say things over and over again, it's because maybe there's somebody watching that has never seen the channel before. And I want them to hear what I'm saying. And if they haven't heard it from anybody else and they're starting out and everything else, maybe this can answer some of their questions without them having to go back and ask people, right? So again, this could be a research avenue for them. And I happily repeat myself, even though other people get a little irritated, and that's okay. They do this hundreds of millions of times a day, and sometimes it's like enough's enough for them, and you can't blame them, right? You really can't blame them. And my hats off to them because sometimes they are so busy they don't have the time to answer the same question over and over again. And if they put videos out, they'll redirect people to the videos and say, "Hey, I answered your question, dude. Just watch the video or rewatch it if you didn't get it the first time." And that's okay, right? More power. Gotta just keep rolling with it. Keep rolling with it. Yeah. If there's something you don't understand after you've watched videos, gone through the manual, and tried things yourself, then ask your questions. If you've gotten to the point where, let's say you've got your saber and something is going on wrong with it, but you fully don't understand anything, yeah, by all means, man, everybody who's better than me can help out and answer a question, right? And I can, it all adds up. It all does, Charlie. It really does, man. Um, you know, some people may not have the time to really research things, but I want to encourage you, even if you have 5 or 10 minutes, look some things up. Watch a couple of videos. I mean, if you don't have that much time, I understand. Um, but most times, 5 or 10 minutes here and there until you can find the answer. And if you don't, then ask somebody directly and they will be happy to help you. You can say, hey, I watched this video, I watched that video, and I went through the manual, and I did this, and I did that, and I tried all the things, but I'm still stuck at what's going on. Can you help me out? And anybody will be ecstatic to help you, knowing that you've exhausted every resource that you could to get it running. And I can, and I kid you not. I mean, these guys, they live for that sometimes. You know, all the seasoned vets, they live to help people out when they've exhausted all of their resources. And even me, man. I mean, I'm the same, right? I mean, I've asked Space Windu, I've asked Jeremy, I've asked Benji. I mean, there's people that I admire so much that I've asked after I couldn't do it, and I tell you, without those guys, I couldn't have gotten Roy Boy, the where it was, And again, like I said, I couldn't have gotten Roy Boy set up the way I wanted to without any help from any of these guys. I mean, they just all were happy to help me out when I've tried so hard to get it going up and everything. And again, Shamim was even part of that list. He made it possible for me to put my friend's, voice on there. So it's good that you have resources, but also it's great when you research your stuff. Now, how many of you guys have gone to TCSS and played around with their parts builder, your Saber builder um, program? How many of you guys have done that? I want to hear. Oh, excuse me. I want to know because I find that in doing those things, you can come up with some ingenious hills, and your capacity to create can exponentially go through the roof, right? Seeing different parts here, different parts there, and even different companies as well. I mean, don't just stick with TCSS because if you limit yourself on your researching parts, you're researching your color schemes, researching this, any of your research that you do, if you limit yourself to one place, you might be missing out on something that could be epic, right? Oh, okay. Titan's done it on Saberforge. I think I've done the same thing, and I've done the same thing on Saberforge, and I came up with a really badass hilt. Unfortunately, a lot of the parts, a lot of the parts that I had on there, um, yeah, I think they're not making any more, right? And I think the only part, excuse me, guys, the only part that they have on there that I actually wanted to, I think there was just two parts, an emitter and then the body of the one that has the Jedi symbol on it, right? Those are the only two parts out of everything that I checked up on there that I really cared for. And I tell you, if their threading wasn't so different, and they could go onto some TCSS parts, oh my God, dude, some of those hills would be freaking episodic. But here's the thing: remember, your research doesn't have to be limited. And I'll tell you, Cole Weathers, who has been doing a hell of a job on laser etching stuff, Jesus, man, he is killing it with that stuff. And you know who else is killing it too is Darth Alice. They're both doing laser etching stuff that is just unbelievable, unbelievable stuff, man. So, again, like I said, personal preference for your sabers, right? But if you limit yourself, like let's say you want a saber, maybe a themed saber, and you look at one little particular company, you're not going to get. You might be missing. Let's see. You might be missing something from a different company that has a different perspective, right? Um, little dust in here. Sorry, guys. Um, a little perspective of a different part they could add. Now, remember when, if you guys were y'all watching the making of Star Wars, were y'all watching the making of Star Wars where they were showing how they built the X-wings and how they built certain ships? They were talking about George Lucas. He was eating a hamburger, and that's how he came up with the Millennium Falcon. I thought that was hilarious, man. Right? These guys, they just anything and everything that they could think of, and they were researching parts or they were eating lunch, and they think, and Lucas came up with the Millennium Falcon from a hamburger. I thought that was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing when I heard about that. So if you have not seen that, go back and watch the making, right? I, Go back and watch the making and see if you can spot that where they're talking about when they're making these ships and stuff. And it tells you, "Hey Pern, how's it going, dude?" He wasn't having a hot dog. Well, I know, right? That's hilarious, man. How you doing, Pern? I'm glad you're here, dude. I know you were on last week and stuff, and I was trying to acknowledge some of your stuff when we got cut off, dude, and I sincerely apologize. And another thing is three oh I wanted to say and I hadn't had a chance to say because I've been trying to find him, but three blades, man. I've been trying to find him so that I could tell him happy. His birthday was in October, and I was trying to find him to tell him happy birthday. And when I went on, the show, I was trying to tell him happy birthday, and it came on so late that I totally forgot. So Three Blades, if you watch, man, happy belated birthday, and I'm so sorry, dude. I tried to find you on Instagram or Facebook so that I could give you a shout out on there, happy birthday, tell you happy birthday. But I'm doing it right here, right now, dude. And I sincerely apologize for the late birthday shout out, man. Uh, and you know, oh, Pern. Well, okay, right in the middle of the show, it got cut off. I had I had oh, there's a lot of dust flying around right here, guys, so I apologize. Um, I was on with Mountain Sabers, and we were talking, and right in the middle of the show, it got cut off. We got popped with, I don't know if it was copyright or if it was maybe somebody said something that they didn't like, and it cut off in the middle. So if you want to watch last week's show, you can go to the Mundo channel and watch it there, dude. Um, I still don't know why. Maybe somebody was just being mean or something. I didn't see that we did anything wrong, but anyhow, yeah, that's just what happened. I mean, I'm not gonna worry too much about it because even Space told me I didn't do anything wrong, and that sometimes that crap happens. Maybe somebody jealous or being mean or thinking it's funny, but hey, what the hell? I still love him anyway. I love everybody, man. I hope I'm not trying to piss anybody off or anything like that. And if I ever piss anybody off, please let me know. I sincerely apologize if I offend anybody. I'm not trying to. It's just you know, like I said, I try to be here for everybody and anybody, and anyone, regardless of who they are. I want this place to be a happy place where we can have fun, talk sabers anytime, any day. A lot of people may not have the chance to talk with their parents, to talk with their friends, to talk with their significant others, maybe because they just don't like that stuff or they don't care about it. And you do, and I'm here to pick up where they don't want to be. That's the whole point of Saber Talk Sunday is to come on and let's talk some sabers. And um, that's gonna be my catchphrase. Yeah, I need a counter, right? I think Reese is gonna end up putting one here pretty soon. If when he watches this, he's got the counter, and I'm gonna have the counter. I'm catching myself with the I'm holding myself accountable. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Listen, but more importantly, I just want to be here for people who really want to talk about sabers, regardless of what the topic is. Now, paint schemes, whether it be the kind of sabers that you have, without any bias of, opinions about it. I mean, even if it is a cheap Chinese saber, okay, more power to you. That's okay. That's what you want. That's what you got. Hey, cool, man. Tell me about what color it is. What kind of chassis you have in there, or is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Let's get into it. Let's get into the talk about it and whether it works really well, whether it doesn't work really well. Maybe you've had sabers that maybe work for a week or two and then it's total crap. You know, or let's say you think you ordered a badass saber from this company and you got gypped. You know, we can always talk about stuff like that. I don't want to get too serious, and I tell you one thing we'll never talk about is political stuff on here. Never ever. That is a no no. Um, reason being is we're here to have fun. We're here to escape the week. We're here to escape reality for a little bit. With a little bit of reality mixed into a lot of fun. Yeah, and that's the whole point of this channel. And I encourage you guys to come and talk about things. And if you have topics that I haven't covered, there's what is that, the 450th one? If you have topics you want to talk about, then put them in the comments or put them in my email, and we could certainly talk about it. If you want to come onto the show, um, you can email me or PM me so that I know where you're at and I can send you a link to the show. So if you want to come on and have some fun that way, by all means. Again, like I said, uh, I'm hoping to get some more guests coming on as well. Maybe do a panel of three or four guests at one time. Um, whether it be saber font makers, maybe powder coater. See, and that's another thing. I do want to get some people on here, if I can, and I don't know if I'd be able to, but I'd like to email, TCSS and see if there'd be anybody willing to come on the show and talk about some of that stuff that they do there at the shop, right? And just kind of have a perspective of what goes on over there, and how incredibly busy they are to pull out all of these uh, incredible parts from sabers. And that I think that would be a very good show to have on, and so that we kind of get an idea what they go through to get these badass parts from them, right? And then, of course, the research that I also see now is that you also have people researching 3D printers, right? You're too awesome. Oh man, Charlie, thank you so much, dude. But I mean, it's just stuff that I know, and most of everybody, what they know, dude. I mean, it's a lot of it is common sense stuff, Charlie. I mean, if you if you got the drive, like the drive that you have to teach these kids for martial arts, and my hat's off to you, buddy. I mean, you know, my hat's off to you, dude, because martial arts is so cool. I need to get back into it. I really do. I've studied, a year of karate. I studied a year of taekwondo and a year of kung fu. So I never gotten past any one particular belt. But I think I need to hunker down and actually study what I really wanted to, which is kung fu, and just do it. Just start redoing stuff that I learned from a Sifu here in Corpus, and just some of the basics, the basic stances, and go from there. Basic stuff, and go from there, and then learn different things. So again, researching things that can help improve not only your health but your building skills as well, right? Um, you know, you would Charlie, you wouldn't have become a black belt without really. Yeah, Tai Chi I think might be good for me as fat as I am. Might be good to start with Tai Chi. Might be good to start with Tai Chi. I used to be able to do a 6 hit kick, man, and I can barely do it anymore. Probably throw out my back now if I did one. But yeah, I think I need to start getting back into it because anybody who's a Jedi, they're not no couch potatoes, right? Gratitude's my passion. I love being healthy. Also, that Instagram post you did is making me hungry. Yeah, I did some fajitas on the pit, man. My family was asking me, "Hey, Dad, we want fajitas. Can you do them on the pit?" I'm all like, "Aye, aye, Captain." I had them seasoned, and I had them in the refrigerator, seasoned up for probably about 4.5 to 5 hours before I put them on the pit. So eat a big meal, man. Eat a big meal, dude. If I could, I'd send you some. I tell you what, you know what? Man, I hope I don't get busted for this, but Charlie, all you need is Italian seasoning and chupacabra seasoning. Throw them in a Ziploc bag all together. Let them sit for several hours and cook them. There you go. It's that simple, man. It was that simple. You don't need much, dude. You don't need much. And I'm pretty sure that people, when they hear this, they're gonna like, "Oh shit, I gotta try that." Go for it. It came out pretty tasty. Came out pretty tasty. And I've been cooking for a long time too, right? It makes me wonder, should I be cooking some paint, do some baking, some powder coating, right? So while I'm on the pit, I'm also on the oven powder coating. Meat and saber at the same time. Hmm. Interesting combination, right? But like I said, researching your parts, researching, like I said, it's not just the parts. It's the total package of what you want to do with your hilt, making it personal, make it not personal. It doesn't matter. Um, but if you're looking for ideas, and you look like I said, Pinterest, videos, Etsy, Instagram, all these different avenues that you can find pictures, maybe of hilts, maybe of uh, emitters, bodies, all different parts, right? And then you go to the stores, you go to the hardware stores, or you go to the paint stores, and you look at all these different colors and everything. You know what I found this weekend? As a matter of fact, on Saturday, I went to Hobby Lobby, and I was so excited because I went to Hobby Lobby, and they actually had Rub and Buff over there. They had and I had been hoping that I could find a place without having to go and order on the internet, uh, especially from Amazon, right? Because I'd like to support local here before I do anything online. But I was hoping that Hobby Lobby would have some. And to my amazement, they actually had some rub and buff. So I end up getting um I end up getting silver leaf, I believe it was silver leaf, and an ancient gold or something like that. So I will be utilizing those on the chat. As a matter of fact, I think on this chassis right here, I'm going to utilize a little bit of the gold on here. Antique gold. That's what it is. Antique gold, right? Yeah. um, so, putting some of that antique gold and some of these grooves in here will dramatically improve something, right? So, and if it wasn't for some certain videos that I watched, I would have never known about Rub and Buff. Never. And, in my time that I've been on here, like I said, I would have never known anything about Rub and Buff, how to use it, what to do with it, where, what it could be utilized for, as a matter of fact. So again, researching your stuff, I tell you, it can give you so much information to make your stuff so much better, right? As far as your chassis, as far as your builds go, as far as anything like that goes. And so let me see here. Hold on. And I think I have, yeah, I do have the chassis in here. So again, this is the hilt I'm working on, which is the balance, right? My father's memory saber. And remember, I was talking to you about the program on parts for the TCSS, right? And doing so, I actually got two emitters together like that. And it looks good. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, yeah, look at that. It looks pretty decent, right? When I put it up on that program, at first I thought, man, maybe it might look stupid, but when I put it all together, and the way I was envisioning it, it came out pretty damn good. When it came to doing this thing. So again, with the chassis that I have on here, right? This is going to be antique copper all over this. and in the grooves will be the antique gold, right? Here will be antique gold on the inside here. Grooves, antique gold, and the rest will be the aged copper. And right now, I'm in the process of trying to find the sandable fillers because I've gotten most of this sanded somewhat. The lines. This is pretty smooth right here, right? But there's some cracks in there, and I'm afraid that if I don't put the filler in and then sand it down, it won't be smooth, and we'll see some of those cracks in there. And that's not what I want. I mean, if you could see, let's see if I can get right up in there. You see some of those cracks right in here, and after I've sanded it quite a bit, and I could use a wet sand, but I'd rather use the sandable filler first, then sand it down into where it's like super smooth. And then after that, then I can actually start painting it. After painting it, then I can start wiring it up. But my goal, I mean, is to paint all this up first and then go ahead and get with the painting after that. Uh, I mean, wiring after I paint it. So slow going process, but at the same time, it's gonna be really worth it. Um, really well worth it. Seeing as I already have the uh the wires and the buttons already wired up, right? That I've got the where is it? I've got the OLED wired up already right here, ready to go in. So the sooner that I can get that chassis painted, the sooner I can get it wired in, and that will be the fun part. And hopefully, each step that I take after painting, right? Well, what I might do is go ahead and have you guys on while I'm painting the chassis. Um, I'll probably do. It's probably going to be several episodes on painting that chassis, so that way you guys can come on that journey with me, and you say, hey, Mundo, wait, you missed a spot. You missed. You can spot if I missed a spot, right? And tell me, Mundo, you're screwing up, dude. You're screwing up, man. Get it right. I'll be like, hey, Captain. All right. Man, time flies, dude. Time really flies. Uh, so, oh, and also the last episode, Perg, and I forgot to tell you, we also had JAD come in too, man, and it was great to have him on here. I really appreciate him so much, man, because he's another great person that I really look up to in the saber world. Um, he has some great videos. So if anybody out there who's just now watching this and is not familiar with Jedi Arms Dealer, make sure you go to his channel and check out his stuff because his stuff will blow you away, man. His stuff is just absolutely genius stuff. Also, check out Mountain Sabers. I know James would love to have you come by and check out his stuff. If you haven't, if you don't know about Mountain Sabers, check his stuff out. Of course, make sure you guys like and subscribe to Space Windu and Civilized Sabers. Check out, the store. Maybe you might like a tri-star, a quad star, a dual star Omega. I mean, these guys are killing it with the blades, man. So check them out. Yeah, they're pricey, but at the same time, I tell you what, they're really worth it because the quality that Anthony puts into these blades is phenomenal. I mean, he tests everything from the first wire to every LED on the strips. When he wires them, he tests them when he puts on 1 ounce of shrink tubing. He tests it. Every layer of anything that he puts on there, he tests all the way to the time it ships. He tests the blade to make sure it's in proper order before it gets shipped out to the person going to. So I'm, with all due respect of Space Renew Anthony, I tell you, it's a quality product and a quality. And Gabe is also his tester, man. Every blade that he does, Gabe will put, Reese or Gabe. I mean, they'll put out videos testing these blades before they send them out, so you can actually see they work um, before they're on their way out to their customer, and you know, and every blade that is made, there will be a video done on those blades. You can't beat that. I mean, quality control at its finest. Quality control at its finest. So again, like and subscribe to everybody that I had mentioned, and also if you are missing maybe some videos here on the Civilized Saber channel, you can always piggyback on Instagram to the Mundo channel, right? And whatever you see here goes to my channel, the Mundo channel, and you can watch it there as well. So if there's something like I said that's missing from here, maybe it'll be over there, and you can watch it over there. Reason being for that, in case something happens like that, like last week. So have fun and enjoy these videos, man. And like I said, if there's topics that you want to cover, leave them in the, it's better if you email me these topics because sometimes I can go back and I'll watch the videos, but I'm not able to see a lot of these comments. And I think Anthony can, but I can't when I go and relook at the stuff for some reason. But and it's okay, you know. If you want to hook up with me and talk to me directly, you're more than welcome to, right? And we can talk about what's next on the show and everything. Now, I do have a guest, and hopefully, he'll be able to come on soon. But until he gives me the okay, Killstar will he said he would enjoy being on the show. So uh, for future shows, be on the lookout for Killstar. And Killstar, if you're watching this, man, thank you so much, and I appreciate everything that you do. If nobody has seen Killstar on Instagram, Facebook, and everything else, go check out his stuff, man, because Killstar is basically, he likes to do the same thing I do, but on Instagram and Facebook. So you hang out on Instagram and Facebook with Killstar. Hang out with us when we do the channel here, man, on Saber Talk Sunday. All right, guys. So I'm gonna start branding out, and everybody here that showed up, thank you guys. Love you guys so much. Pern, Charlie, uh, Titan, Jim. I mean, I just Felicia. Sarah, and then, and I tell you what, guys, thank you guys so much. Before I leave, is the channel, can everybody still hear me good? It was just that one little glitch. It, I want to make sure before I take off if it was just that one little glitch. Like I said, there's a lot of wind going out here right now, so it could have been the problem, or it could have been when they were updating their. Okay, good. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you guys for letting me know. But again, I'm gonna try to brand out and thank you guys. Love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next Sunday possibly. I might be out of town. I don't know yet, but I'll let you guys know. And if I do go out of town, um, I might do the show out at my ranch, and it might be a little rough out there. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, guys. All right,
In
window out.
here,
Peace.
we pour whiskey.